Om Nilambuja Shyamal Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Maha Sayakacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side, carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Shri Ramcharitmanas, Ayodhya Kanda, and verse number is 12. At this stage of the story, King Dasharatha is busy preparing for coronation given to Lord Rama, making him heir apparent to the throne. Entire Ayodhya is dancing with joy. Ram Rajya is the goal of life, and that's attained. So why not to dance? But is it really attained? Bharata is elsewhere. Shatrugna is elsewhere. Kaikeyi has not been even informed. And Manthara is in big trouble. And to understand the mystical insight, Ram Rajya is the goal for every soul. Shocking news. No, fulfillment is not, in life is not by a historical happening. Fulfillment in life is by your own realization. Every soul is a ray of God. It must realize, I am Aham Brahmasmi. Now, just to give you a general setting, King Dasharatha is a soul, individual soul. Namu Manthara Mandamati Cheri Kaikei Keri Ajasa Petari Tahi Kari Gai Giramati Feri. First stage, entire Ayodhya is filled with joy. If Rama became king at that time, that wouldn't be real attainment, because Ram Rajya will be defective. Ignorance is dancing in the form of Ravana jumping around. All his forces are there. Bharata is not with Rama, Bharata is bhakti. All there is the picture of disintegration. In the state of disintegration, you cannot enjoy the highest goal, but have a visualization of it. It's an affirmation stage. Now Rama Rajya is giving you an affirmation. This is what has to be. But then it has to be real, not in the state of affirmation. It should be realization. So switching the vision from the state of affirmation as if you have already found it. You are told you are Brahman, Tattvamasi, and you recite it. Aham Brahmasmi. You made no mistake in your recitation. That doesn't mean you have attended. It's good. It was reciting well. But then, now moves the real movement of internal transformation. In the storyline, when all were so happy and joyous, Indra and gods in the heaven, they were in a state of despair. They had waited, they had offered prayers to Lord Vishnu to incarnate. Lots of story has gone on to bring Lord Vishnu in the state of incarnation. And now he's being coronated as a king. So gods persuaded goddess Saraswati to lead Manthara to bring about what's called Rang Me Bhang. When all are rejoicing, create a little special breakage so that people become stirred up to understand or be led to integration. This is a state of disintegration. Now something has to happen to lead to integration state. And Manthara is a restricted operation of Prakriti nature. And Manthara is a hunchbacked lady. In other words, it's a specialized aspect of Prakriti that helps Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi is vichar movement. Who am I? What is it all about? Kaya. Remember, Kaushalya is skill movement. Sahaj. Sumitra, friendliness. All world is friend. Kaikeyi, what is the reality behind all this? But their operation, Kaikeyi's operation and effectiveness to the dull mind or to the normal worldly mind appears a shocking situation. You are happy, you are joyous, your relatives are doing well, your children are doing well, and then you hear in satsanga, all this will pass away. So therefore, start practicing sadhana. That type of sound doesn't sound well. So that is brought into this story in a very profound way. As this whole setting has two types of message. The higher message, which I'm going to highlight. The ordinary message that you have to be careful not to be led by your maid servants. And even one person going astray with a wrong mind can disturb the whole kingdom rejoicing. That type of message received by the masses, that's why they hold on to it. They always bring out, whenever there is quarrel or anything, look, this Kaikai is coming to this. And no one will give their daughter name Kaikai. So, Dikha manthara nagaru banawa, manjula mangala baja badhawa. Mantra saw, whole city is so decorated. And joyous sounds coming out from all types of musical instruments. Great curiosity, she went to the crowd and asked, what type of celebration is this? Why are you all performing all this utsav, a joyous celebration? He said, don't you know? Rama is going to become the heir apparent to the throne. Rama is going to be Yuvraj. Manthara, instead of being joyous, her heart began to burn. Philosophically, it is nothing negative. It is a positive sign. When viruses enter your body and your whole body says, wonderful, you must realize it's wrong. Karai vicharu ku buddhi ku jati, hoi akaju kavani vidhirati. Now she started thinking. And she's being now portrayed from the point of view of worldly mind. So what now you see in her, durbuddhi, not good intellect, wrong intellect. And she became engrossed in thinking of how could she cause interruption in all this show and change the scene. And the poetic description is just like a wild tribe lady plans to have a honey hive. He sees the honey hive thriving, but in her heart, waiting to, the moment is filled with the honey, cut it down. Bharat matu pahi gayi bilathani, ka anmani hasi, kaha hasi rani, utaru deyi nalei usasu, nari charit kari dharai asu. With great distress and sadness, she went to Kaikai, because she is the special servant maid servant of Kaikeyi. And Kaikeyi, looking at her, said, smiling, laughing, "Why are you so sad?" And Manthara doesn't say anything, but breathes heavily, sorrowful breaths. And tears are dropping from her eyes. Starts performing Triya Charitram. Woman's wiles. The whole world is woman's wiles. Woman is Triya, three. Three has two implications, sattva, rajas, tamas. More advanced interpretation is seer, seen and sight. When consciousness, relative consciousness is split up into subject, object, interacting experience. Now in that deluded level, whatever that nature performs in this deluded level, it's very hard to outwit that nature. It's a powerful movement and very destructive movement. It leads the soul to repeated birth and death. You are moved into, you become a serial killer of your own self. Atmahano jana. That's a terrible thing. So that's Triya Charitra. People use the scriptures, not understanding properly, and they bring it to a very low level interpretation. So that's always goes on. In other words, it has nothing to do with women or men. As long as you are involved with the triad, you are Triya. This triad-based nature in you is going to do amazing tricks. Triya Charitra. Triya Charitram Purushasya Bhagyam Devo na janati kutah manushya. Literal meaning is women's wiles and man's great effort. Even gods can't deny, understand. But here, man means Purusharth. Your soul's ability to discover who am I, that's Purusharth. If the body is Puri, city, the soul is a ruler, therefore is Purusha. So, all souls are Purusha. And nature that captures that soul is Triya. Triya Charitram. Female. Purusha, literally male. Prakriti, female. हंसी कह रानी गालू बड़ तोरे दीन लखन सिख असमन मोरे तबहु न बोल चेरी बड़ी पापिनी छाड़ई श्वास का कारी जनु सांपिनी. Queen laughed and said, "You have big cheek." When you abrupt things too much, they say, "Gal bajana." Instead of beating drums, we're beating your cheeks. It seems Lakshmana has given you some some punishment. Lakshmana has taught you some lesson. In spite of all this scolding, Manthara is not saying anything. She just go on breathing heavily, just like a venomous snake. Sabhai Rani kahasikin kushal ram mahipalu lakhanu bharatu ripu damanu suni bhakubari urasalu. Queen became concerned, afraid what has happened. And she said to Manthara, why don't you say something? Is everyone safe? Rama, King Dasharatha, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, are they all well? Something has gone wrong somewhere? Kuri listened to this, but her heart was raging with agitation. Katha sikh dei hamahi ko mai, galu karab kehi karabalu pai. And Manthara said, O mother, nobody has taught me any lesson. I'm not going to say things because I'm being compelled by anybody. At this time, Rama is the only one who is kushal, who is well. Because he is going to become successor to the throne. Bhayu Kaushali vidhi ati dahin, dekhat garab rahat urnahin. And Brahma is so much partial today, partial for Kausalya. Her son is going to be the king. And Kausalya's heart is filled with pride. Why don't you come out and see what's happening? What has caused agitation in my heart? Putu videshana sochu tumhare, janati hahu bas nahu hamare, need pahut priya sage turai, lakhauna bhupa kapat chaturai. Your son is in foreign land. Bharata is in Nanihal, not in Sasural. Nanihal means Kaikeyi is his mother's parents. According to storyline, that was Kaya Desh, what today is known as Afghanistan. That's the storyline. Bharata and Shatrugna, wherever Bharata went, Shatrugna went with him. In mystical line, bhakti, karma and bhakti are dormant. They have not played their role. And Rama suddenly is being highlighted. in your personality, having been introduced to sadhana, etc., you begin to find jnana is easy. You can follow a rationality. Bhakti, confusing. Karma, worse. So put bhakti and karma far away. Give Rama, Lakshmana, highlight them. Now that's not a real spiritual movement. It has to be corrected. Thank God to Goddess Saraswati, who operates through mantra, nature. Your son, mantra is saying, is in foreign land. And you are just thoughtless person. You think that your husband is completely in harmony with you, under your control. And you are enjoying wonderful bed, big cushion-like, comfortable all situation, pillows, etc. And you are just living your life, enjoying sleep on bed, bedridden personality. And you have no idea the clever trick played by your own husband, Dasharatha. Suni priya bachan malin manu jani, jhuki rani, ab rahu argani. Listening to these words, Queen, finding mantra to have such distorted mind, that was her first reaction, that mantra's mind is just sick. And Kaikeyi scolded her. Stop saying any more, you ghar phodi. Ghar phodi, one who spoils unity and harmony in a house. Literally implying, you build a good house, but someone bagged the whole thing, broke the house. घर को फोड़ देना. If you see this type of thing again, I will have your tongue taken out of your mouth. काने खोरे कुबरे कुटिल कुचाली जानी तिये विशेषी पुनिचेरी कही Bharata Matu Musukani. And in the process of scolding, that you are kana. Kana means one-eyed. You are lame, hunchbacked, twisted intellect, twisted conduct. You are such a such a servant. Now it seems all ugly words, but subtle point is spiritual movement viewed by worldly mind Now let me illustrate that point. You begin to learn from satsanga that you should be one-eyed, not two-eyed. Two-eyed means duality. Dvaita drishti is wrong. Being one-eyed, one reality alone exists. Advaita drishti. Now this whole talk is glorifying one-eyed. What a stupidity. We have already good two eyes. Why should we be rid of one eye and be only one-eyed? And lame term. Karmas you are constantly doing. You are told, attain akarma, break your leg. And be hunchbacked. You are holding the pressure of all karmas on your back. And now, create a back that will not hold all that pressure. Bring a hunch into it. And kutil. Kutil means here in this situation that she is being used by goddess Saraswati. So there is deceptive movement in Manthara's personality. So what appears like a simple scolding, there is deeper meaning behind it. प्रियवादिनी सिख देनी हूँ तू ही, सपने हूँ तो पर कोपु न मोही. Even while scolding, and Kaikeyi says, O Manthara, in reality I have no grudge against you. I am scolding you only to educate you. I have absolutely nothing bitter against you, nothing. I do not see you out of my love. You are always loved by me. And what you have said, you have brought the most auspicious news. Hope what you have said is real. And what is that? What he has said, that Rama is going to be successor to the throne. And Kaikeyi says, if this is really so, it is what a wonderful news you have brought. जेठ स्वामी सेवक लघु भाई, यह दिन कर कुल रीति सुहाई. राम तिलक जौ साचे हूँ काली, देऊ माग मन भावत आली. According to the tradition of kings, eldest son becomes the ruler. That means the eldest brother will be the lord, younger will be his attendant and servant. This is the style of solar race. So you have given me very good news. Rama will become the king and Bharata will be his servant. Ask anything, I will give to you for bringing such a wonderful news. कौसल्या सम सब महतारी राम ही सहज सुभाएं पियारी. And Rama considers all mothers same as Kausalya. मोह पर करहि सनेहु विषेखी मैं करी प्रीति परीक्षा देखी. And he gives a special type of love for me. And I have tested his love. जौ विधि जन्म देई करी छोहू होहु रामस्य पूत पुतोहू. It is a great privilege to have Rama as a son and Sita as a daughter-in-law. प्रांते अधिक राम प्रिय मोरे तिनके तिलक क्षोभ कसतोरे. Rama is dearer to me than my life. Why are you so agitated? Because Rama is going to rule. There's nothing wrong about it. But what's wrong is that it is in a state of disintegration. Rama's rule, in order to have Rama's rule, Bharata, Lakshmana, Satrughna and all must be there. And all these negative forces must be cut down. That point is known by to Manthara because Saraswati is operating through her intellect. Bharat sapath tohi satya kahu परिहरि कपट दुराऊ हर्ष समय विषमय करसी कारण मोहि सुनाऊ. In the name of Bharata, swear in the name of Bharata. Give up all chal kapat, all deception and hypocrisy. Tell me, sincerely, truthfully, what's the reason for sorrow in this atmosphere of wonderful sunshine of joy? एक ही बार आस सब पूजी अब कछु कहब जीव करि दूजी. फोरे जोग कपारु अभागा भले कहत दुख रौरे ही लागा. Manthara said, what have I to say? All my expectations were dumped. And I can't bring another tongue. My unfortunate head is need to be broken. Why? For trying to give you good intellect, giving you right type of advice, and you don't recognize what favor I am trying to do to you. And now I can't switch another tongue. and so forth. कहीं झूठी फुरी बात बनाई, ते प्रिय तुम्हें करहु मैं माई. Oh mother, I cannot be the type of person who हमहु कहबि अब ठाकुर सुहाती, नाही त मौन रहब दिन राती. I cannot be the person who can do ठाकुर सुहाती, which means look at the face and say whatever makes the face joyous. Not fact or anything. The whole focus is making the face joyous. Thakur Shuhati. You are the Thakur. You are like God-like. And whatever makes you be pleased, say only those words. Figure that out. And even though those words are extremely out of reality and dangerous to the person and negative, and yet that type of cozy relationship develops. Certain degrees are all these things, they happen, one has to recognize it and not fall for it. Someone is giving good advice, but in that advice there are words of scolding. You said, goodbye. Go elsewhere, where someone gives you, says things always good for you, always makes you laugh. You will do wrong things, doesn't matter. So many people do wrong things. That's called Thakur Suhati business. Mantra says that's not possible for me. Karikurup vidhi parabasa kinha, bavaso lunia lahiyasyo dinha, ko nripak ho hamahi kahani, chiri chari abaho obakirani. God has already made me ugly. I am having my own fruit of karma. What have I to do with who is king and who is not king? I will be always the same maid servant. जारे जोग सुभाव हमारा, अनभल देखी न जाई तुम्हारा. My nature is meant to be consumed by fire. But in spite of whatever I am, I'm unable to bear what's going to happen to you. I'm unable to bear the misery that you are going to be inflicted with. Therefore, I spoke out these words and have done a great mistake. Please forgive. Gudha kapata priya bachana suni, tiya adhara buddhi rani, suramaya basa bairini, surida jani patiyani. Now Kaikeyi, listening to all these words coming from mantra, and in this setup of communication, the divine Maya began to dominate Kaikeyi's mind also. In other words, mind began to open a little channel, listening to what Manthara was saying. And it became clear to Kaikeyi that Manthara is doing something very sincere. And she began to put two and two together. Two and two means King Dasharatha didn't tell her. He did all this big, wonderful thing. And he didn't wait to invite Bharata and Shatrugna. So all that is being done in a deceptive manner, as if Kaikeyi was not supposed to know anything. This was not really so. King Janaka was so happy, and he was coming to tell Kaikeyi. But during this time, sometimes people do good things for you without telling you. So that now the news of what you have done is more surprising. Figure that out. That was Dasharatha's position. But now it gives a totally different meaning. But behind all that, always understand, what seems so negative is actually a positive movement. As Vairagya begins to enter in your mind, things that are so appreciated by the masses, now you do not look at those things with the same sense of appreciation. तुम पूछहु मैं कात डराऊं, धरेहु मोर कर फोरी नाऊं. You are asking me, and already you have called me ghar phori, one who breaks the peace and harmony of homes. And now, Manthara began to express. प्रिय सिय राम कहा तुम रानी, राम ही तुम प्रिय सो पुरी बानी. O Queen, you said that Sita and Ram are very dear. They consider you in a very loving way, and they are dear to you. But that was past. When Rama becomes king, he will become a servant to his mother Kaushalya. Now old times have passed, and all those who looked friendly, they will turn out to be contrary. And now with this I will conclude. And prayer for health, long life, peace, prosperity, and enlightenment for all of you. Peace and harmony in the world. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukma Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री रामाय नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय।